again with another video. Thank you all for watching. I greatly appreciate it. So I've taken a little bit of a break from doing YouTube videos, but I'm back. A lot has happened. Um, yeah, Macron has been advocating for troops in Ukraine, which honestly, in my opinion, is the stupidest idea ever. Basically, would escalate the conflict into a World War III, which is something nobody wants. The entire globe has been trying to contain this conflict in Ukraine between just Ukraine and Russia, and maybe Belarus every once in a while. But like the globe has been trying to contain this conflict into just those handful of players. Now, Macron is trying to advocate for an expansion of the conflict by adding either French troops or a coalition of the willing of NATO members. So whether that's France or whether that's um, other members that might even think about it, depending on um, internal politics. However, I want to touch on this picture. Like, this is probably the weirdest picture I've seen in a long time. Like, obviously, yeah, you got muscles. Like, yeah, you're whatever. You're cool, whatever. But if you're trying to portray yourself as strong, or you're trying to portray yourself as like assertive, like putting yourself in the boxing ring is probably one of the most like corniest ways of doing it. Like, whatever. But yeah, there was a couple articles. NATO ally could command 60,000 strong force in Ukraine. That would honestly lead to a third world war. Um, I find this character arc of Macron interesting because on Twitter or X or whatever you call it, back in the first couple months of the war, everyone was telling Macron that he was like Neville Chamberlain, like he was trying to appease Putin, trying to like go to Putin and be like, "Hey man, please don't do this." But now that his stance has changed, everyone's trying to portray him as Winston Churchill, which is an interesting character arc. Nothing was excluded with regard to officially putting NATO boots on the ground, even though U.S. and German planners said that that was absolutely not going to happen. Macron has maintained his position, even garnering backing from Eastern NATO states. This is a weird story arc. He's emerging as an assertive leader, yet trying to shake off his past. So he was saying anywhere up to 60,000. I don't know why he would try and insert himself into this conflict, honestly, but I don't know. Because I think what a lot of people forget is that the Russian nuclear arsenal is like the largest in the world. Obviously, France has nuclear weapons, but they only have like 300. I mean, yeah, it's something that you should be taken into account. But like, if you put French troops on the ground with other NATO member states who are willing to put boots on the ground, that's two nuclear powers going at it. Russia has over 5,500 nuclear weapons. France has about 300. That is bringing the war to a new level. That is escalating the war when the whole world has been trying to contain this war. French soldiers will be useful as border guards, so the Ukrainians could release some Ukrainian soldiers from the border and deploy them to the front. Personally, I don't know. I think it's just dumb. Possible French border positions, maybe. If your border positions, maybe, I guess. But, like, I don't know. If you're actually putting French troops on the front line, then that's. Even just any troops trying to insert yourself into the conflict can definitely escalate this. And nobody wants this war escalated. Yeah, you're going to risk direct confrontation with Russian forces. And Putin has been very loose with his nuclear rhetoric. So I don't know. I don't know what Macron's trying to do. I think he's trying to um, revitalize his perception, his public perception on the war. But I don't know. I think it's the dumbest idea ever. You're gonna try and escalate a conflict that the world has been trying to contain for the past 2.5 years. Like, nobody wants a third world war, and this is a very real possibility if you interject French boots on the ground. If you put France soldiers, you've put other NATO member soldiers on the ground, then you have a very real possibility that it leads to a third world war, which would be fought with nuclear weapons, and nobody wants that. So, very interesting. I don't know what's going to happen. Time will tell, but that's just my 2 cents on the issue. So, with that being said, that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Deuces.